change the way how you do things, to never step on anybody's toes. So the fact that I got an opportunity and I was able to show the organization, show everybody who I really am, then that was truly exciting. So, I was off balance for a little bit, past couple months of my life, but it was different. But I'm thankful, to be back where I am. But that's why during the game I was smiling so much, because I'm like, oh yeah, if this what it is, I know I'm gonna be able to accept that challenge and move forward one day, and be able to have success. So that's the mentality I went with going and prepping for this week. We know they got a dog on the D lineman. We know about Max Crosby. We know about that. But, I fear no man, The only thing I fear is God.
The message hit hard, bold, raw, and completely unapologetic. Shedeur Sanders stood tall at that podium after his historic debut win with the Cleveland Browns, staring straight into the cameras like he was facing the entire world. Millions were tuned in, waiting for what he'd say. And when he finally spoke, his words exploded across every social media feed and sports show in the country. A lot of people wanted to see me fail. You know it ain't gonna happen. Those 12 words didn't just echo. They boomed across the sports world. Every syllable carried the weight of months of doubt, criticism, and straight-up disrespect. It wasn't just a statement, it was a clapback from a man who'd been written off, doubted, and dismissed at every turn, only to rise up and silence every critic on the biggest stage possible. And let's be real, this wasn't arrogance. This was earned confidence, the kind you get after fighting through adversity and proving yourself when everyone's watching. The meaning behind his words hit even harder once you look at the journey that got him there. From the start, Shedeur Sanders had people questioning him. Ever since his father became his college coach, some said his success wasn't real, that it was just family favoritism. When he entered the NFL draft with first-round hype, scouts broke down his game like they were searching for flaws. And when he slid all the way to the 5th round, critics jumped to say it proved he was overrated and didn't deserve the buzz. Then came Cleveland, 4th-string quarterback, barely a shot to touch the field, and fans already labeling him a bust before he even suited up. But Shedeur saw it all, the posts, the jokes, the hate, and he remembered every single word. He knew exactly who was waiting to see him fail, and that's why his victory and his message hit like a thunderbolt. He saw the headlines questioning if he was really that good. He heard the voices on TV saying he didn't belong in the league. All that noise, all that negativity, every bit of doubt and hate, he took it in and turned it into energy. When Shedeur Sanders finally got his shot to start an NFL game, he poured every ounce of that frustration into a performance that shut critics up and announced loud and clear that he had arrived. The stats from Shedeur's debut only tell part of the story. 11 completions on 20 passes for 209 yards, 1 touchdown, and a spot in the record books as the first Browns rookie quarterback to win his debut start in 3 decades. Solid numbers, no doubt, showing a quarterback with control, flashes of brilliance, and the kind of calm most rookies can only dream of. But what really made that game unforgettable wasn't just the stats. It was everything numbers can't measure. The way he stayed cool under pressure, the focus in clutch moments, the ability to make plays when everything seemed to break down, that leadership in the huddle that made even veterans lock in and follow his lead. Those are the rare qualities that separate guys who just rack up yards from the ones who actually win games. Then came the moment, the 66-yard touchdown bomb to Dylan Sampson in the 4th quarter. That play will live on in highlight reels for years. It started as a simple screen, but it needed flawless timing, perfect execution, and a little magic from the running back to turn a short pass into a jaw-dropping touchdown. Still, Shedeur had to read the defense right, drop the ball with the perfect mix of touch and heat, and keep everything in rhythm. It all clicked at once, and boom, his first career NFL touchdown lit up the scoreboard and helped secure a win Cleveland had to have. The confidence Shedeur showed after the game wasn't some act, it was real. You could feel it in the way he spoke, calm but powerful, like someone who knew he earned that moment. This wasn't fake bravado, this was genuine self-belief, built from endless hours of work, preparation, and faith. He even said he felt completely relaxed going into the game, which is wild when you think about it. A rookie starting his very first NFL game in a packed stadium full of hostile fans, cool as ice. Most young quarterbacks in that kind of situation would be shaking in their cleats, battling nerves and self-doubt. But Shedeur, nah. His preparation, his mindset, and his unshakable faith gave him that mental edge to play calm, focused, and fearless instead of anxious and overwhelmed. That's exactly the kind of mentality teams dream of in a young quarterback. All those late nights watching film, all those countless practice reps, and every mental rep of different game scenarios, it all came together when it mattered most. Once the real game started, Shedeur didn't freeze up or panic at the NFL speed. He adjusted like he'd been there before. He wasn't surprised by the pressure. He was ready for it because he'd already put in the grind long before the camera started rolling. And that grind, that level of dedication, isn't something you can teach or fake. You either have that hunger or you don't, and Shedeur's got it overflowing. The difference between his debut start and his earlier limited playing time shows exactly how much he's grown and learned from every setback. In one of his earlier appearances, when he got just a few snaps, he only completed 4 of 16 passes for 47 yards and threw a pick. By any standard, that's a tough night, one that could crush a rookie's confidence. But instead of blaming anyone or making excuses, Shedeur stood tall and owned it. He took responsibility, learned from it, and came back stronger. And that's what separates the real ones from the rest. "I don't think I played good at all," Shedeur admitted, straight up owning his performance. He wasn't making excuses. He was being real, saying he needed to build stronger chemistry with his teammates and sharpen his execution on the field. That kind of honesty and accountability is exactly what you want from a franchise quarterback. Nobody expects a rookie to come in perfect, but not every rookie is brave enough to face their mistakes head on like that. What really separates future stars from the ones who fade out fast isn't talent. It's how they handle failure. Do they start pointing fingers, or do they take the blame, learn, and come back better? Shedeur has proven he's in that second group, the ones who take every setback and turn it into fuel for growth. That mindset, that ability to bounce back from failure and respond with strength, shows the kind of mental toughness that defines true winners. Plenty of young quarterbacks never recover after a rough start. They let one bad game mess with their head, shake their confidence, and drag them down. But not Shedeur. He took that early struggle, broke it down, learned from it, and turned it into a blueprint for success. That resilience, that fire that refuses to let one bad night define him, is exactly what separates the real ones from the rest. Those traits, mental toughness, accountability, and drive, are the mark of someone built to last at the highest level. And when Shedeur said, "It ain't gonna happen," it carried so much weight once you understand his journey. That wasn't just a quick comeback to NFL critics, it was a message to everyone who ever doubted him. It was aimed at those who said he only got his shot because of his father. It was for the ones who claimed he was overrated, who laughed when he fell in the draft, who said he'd never make it. That statement was a line in the sand, a warning to anyone rooting for his downfall. He's not giving them that satisfaction, not now, not ever. The tone Shedeur used when he dropped that statement was flawless, confident but never cocky, bold without sounding defensive, real without being petty. He didn't have to call anyone out by name or throw shade at specific critics. Instead, he delivered his message calm and clear, letting everyone know exactly where his mindset stood and how locked in his determination really was. People can root for him to fail all they want. That's their choice. But Shedeur made it clear he's not giving them what they're hoping for. He's built different, trained different, and focused in ways most can't even understand. His drive, his discipline, his preparation, it's all on another level, and that's something his doubters will never truly grasp. Then came that follow-up comment that took things to a whole new level when Shedeur hinted, "Imagine what I could do with a full offseason." That one line said everything. Think about it. He made history, delivered a breakout performance, and led his team to victory after getting just 1 week of first-team practice reps. 1 week. He wasn't even running with the starters during training camp, didn't get full prep time with a game plan built for him, and still stepped in like a pro and got it done. Now picture what happens if he gets a full offseason to work with his guys, master the playbook, and lock in as QB1. It's not just exciting, it's dangerous. That's not hype. That's a warning to the rest of the league. If Cleveland gives him the reins and builds around him, every defense better take notice because things could get serious fast. But that comment also carried another layer. It quietly questioned how the Browns handled him earlier in the season. Because let's be real, if Shedeur could perform like that with just a week of prep, what could he have done if he'd been getting starter reps from day one? How many more wins might Cleveland have right now if they trusted him sooner? Those are uncomfortable questions, no doubt, but Shedeur managed to raise them with total class without throwing his coaches or the organization under the bus. That's a veteran move right there. The impact of Shedeur's message stretches way beyond just his own career. It speaks to something bigger. In a league where young quarterbacks live under the microscope, where every move is judged, and especially when you've got a famous last name that adds extra pressure, Shedeur's response to all that noise shows the perfect blueprint for handling adversity, with grace, control, and power. He didn't clap back at critics by name. He didn't start arguments online or throw shade in interviews. He didn't whine, blame, or play the victim. Instead, he stood tall, spoke his truth, and let his play on the field do the talking. That's real maturity right there, letting actions speak louder than words. Even Sports Illustrated picked up on it, highlighting how Shedeur's mix of gratitude and confidence makes him stand out. It proves something powerful. You can be thankful for your opportunities while still believing in your greatness. You can be humble about the grind and still carry that quiet swagger that says, I belong here. Shedeur balances both sides perfectly, humble yet fearless, grateful yet unstoppable, and that's what makes him not just impressive, but inspiring. When he said failure isn't part of his playbook, it hit deep because it wasn't just talk, it was backed by proof. This is a man who's faced pressure at every single level of the game and found ways to rise each time. He's been through criticism for playing under his father in college, and what did he do? He balled out and proved he earned every yard. And then came the draft doubters, the ones who said he wasn't ready or wasn't first-round material. He answered by grinding his way into the league and grabbing his shot when it came. When he started out buried on the depth chart as Cleveland's fourth-string quarterback, he didn't complain. He worked harder, earned respect, and stayed ready for the moment his number got called. And when that moment finally came and people were waiting to see him stumble, Shedeur flipped the script with a historic debut win. Every time someone's told him he couldn't do it, he's shown up and proved them wrong. Again and again. Every time people tried to downplay Shedeur's accomplishments or question if he really belonged, he had the perfect response. He answered on the field. That pattern of always rising to the challenge and proving doubters wrong is exactly what makes his "it ain't gonna happen" statement so powerful. It's not empty talk or fake confidence. It's backed by a real track record of overcoming obstacles and winning even when the world was betting against him. The mindset that lets Shedeur take in criticism and turn it into motivation instead of letting it crush his confidence, that's something you can't teach in any classroom. It's not from a playbook, not from a coach. It's built through experience and grit. Sure, part of it comes from his roots, being the son of Shedeur Sanders, one of the most confident athletes to ever do it. Deion's swagger, belief, and mental toughness definitely rubbed off, no doubt. But Shedeur didn't just copy his father's mindset. He built his own version of confidence. His version came from his own journey, his own battles, and his own grind. And that makes it even stronger. He's faced a different kind of pressure. Criticism that wasn't just about football, but personal shots that cut deep. People didn't just question his skills, they questioned him. They called him arrogant, said he was egotistical, and even claimed he didn't work hard enough. Some accused him of being entitled, like everything was handed to him because of his last name. They tried to paint him as someone who didn't earn his stripes. But those attacks went way past normal sports criticism. They hit below the belt, digging into his character and his authenticity. Stuff like that can destroy a young player's confidence if they're not built strong mentally. But Shedeur, he flipped that negativity into drive. Every insult became motivation, every doubt became fuel, and every time someone tried to tear him down, he used it as a reason to push harder. That's the difference between being made for the spotlight and being built by it. Every personal jab turned into motivation for Shedeur. Every attempt to downplay his success only pushed him to go harder and prove everyone wrong. That rare ability to flip negativity into power, that's what separates elite competitors from the rest of the crowd. And the reach of Shedeur's message goes far beyond himself. It's speaking straight to every young athlete who's ever faced doubt, hate, or unfair criticism. His example proves you don't have to waste time clapping back at every critic or getting caught in online drama. You don't need to defend yourself to people who've already made up their minds about you. Sometimes, the strongest move is to stay focused, keep grinding, trust your skills, and let your performance handle the talking. Because when you do decide to speak, it should hit with the same calm confidence and conviction that Shedeur brought. No bitterness, no anger, just truth backed by results. The fact that Shedeur's post-game comments went viral says everything. It showed the world that fans crave authenticity. People are tired of those scripted, PR-approved sound bites that sound robotic and empty. They want to hear something real. They want emotion, honesty, and passion straight from the heart, and that's exactly what Shedeur gave them. His words weren't polished for headlines. They were raw, direct, and genuine. That's why the clip exploded online, shared millions of times. People could feel the truth in what he said, and they respected it because authenticity can't be faked. When Shedeur spoke, fans saw a young man who wasn't afraid to own his journey, admit his struggles, and still stand tall with unshakable confidence. But now, the pressure on him is about to hit a whole new level. That viral moment put a target square on his back. By boldly declaring that failure ain't gonna happen, Shedeur raised the stakes. Every move he makes from now on will be watched under a microscope. Every incomplete pass, every off day, every tough game, critics will jump at the chance to twist it, to say he was too confident or too full of himself. But knowing Shedeur, that pressure won't break him. It'll just light another fire inside him to prove once again that he's built for this spotlight. That's the cost of speaking boldly and betting on yourself in front of the world. But if there's one thing we've learned about Shedeur Sanders, it's that he embraces that pressure. He doesn't run from it. He thrives in it. The spotlight doesn't shake him, it sharpens him. Now, the Cleveland Browns have a decision to make. Do they fully commit to Shedeur as their franchise quarterback, or do they keep holding back, stuck on the old depth chart mindset? His performance and his message send a crystal clear signal. It's time for Cleveland to go all in. He's earned that shot. He's proven it on the field with results. He's earned the locker room's respect. He's fired up the fan base. And most importantly, he's shown the mental toughness to handle the heat that comes with being a true NFL starter. Across the league, we've seen how heavy that pressure can be. Some young quarterbacks, big names, high draft picks have folded under the weight of expectations. They let the criticism eat at their confidence, let the media chatter get in their heads, and watch their careers slip away because they couldn't bounce back when things got rough. But Shedeur, he's built different. His mental game, preparation, and unbreakable belief in himself are what set him apart from those cautionary tales. Right now, he's not just playing football, he's shaping a legacy. The long-term impact of this viral moment is still unfolding, but one thing's certain, it could go down as the defining chapter of his career. If he continues to rise and finds lasting success in the NFL, people will look back and say, that's when Shedeur announced himself to the world. That post-game statement wasn't just words, it was a declaration of purpose. And even if he faces tough stretches ahead, critics might try to use those same words against him, calling them overconfident or too bold. But no matter how it plays out, one thing is undeniable. Shedeur has planted his flag. He's made it clear who he is, what he stands for, and what he believes about his future. And he's daring the league to doubt him, because that's when he's at his most dangerous. So what's your take on Shedeur Sanders clapping back at the haters with that bold, "it ain't gonna happen" message? Do you think his confidence was justified after that electric debut performance? How big of a role do you think his mental toughness plays in turning all that criticism into motivation? And most importantly, do you believe Shedeur's got what it takes to keep climbing and dominate long-term in the NFL? Drop your thoughts down in the comments. I seriously want to hear your perspective on this viral moment. If you've made it all the way through this deep dive into Shedeur's response to his critics, that means you're locked in and truly following his story. So don't just scroll away, hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss a single update as his journey with the Browns unfolds. And when we drop new content breaking down Shedeur's rise, the Browns season, and all the drama around it, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you respect Shedeur's confidence and believe he's got the strength to back his words up with real results, share this video with your friends who love seeing athletes stay true to themselves and speak their truth. The doubters got their answer, the haters got their message, and Shedeur Sanders is just getting started. He's not backing down, he's not slowing up, and he's definitely not giving anyone the satisfaction of seeing him fail. Until next time, keep believing, keep watching, and keep coming back for more raw, authentic stories that remind us why sports are so powerful. See you in the next one.